today's is on hip mobility. So hip mobility can not only affect our movement but also our horse's movement. So if we're locked in our seat, it not only causes us to bounce and sort of be a bit unstable in the saddle, it also can block the horse's back and block the horse's movement. So today we're going to focus on the areas that as riders can often get stiff, tight, and if there's any particular ones that you're struggling with or any particular ones that you think you could do a bit more of, highlight them, and then obviously you can do a bit more of them, but also ask me any questions that you need to. So we're going to start off with just a gentle warm-up, so just going to do head rolls, so nodding the chin down towards the chest, doing nice big circles with the head. So focusing on your breathing, trying to breathe in and out through your nose. And breathing through our nose helps connect to the deep core muscles rather than using mouth breathing, which we use a lot of our chest and tightens up our chest and our shoulders. And just reversing it, so going back the other way. And just doing a couple of shoulder shrugs, trying to loosen up, relax the shoulders back. And then just go back the other way. Then you're going to come to the back of the mat and you're just going to do some gentle roll down. So nodding the chin again, this time you're going straight down, so you're rolling down your spine, reach your hands as far down as you can to the floor. And then just gently swinging side to side and slowly going a little bit higher with each swing. Stretching into your back. Keep that head tucked in until we roll all the way up. So as you get to the top, keep that chin tucked in. Stop the arms from swinging and then just gently roll the head up. We'll just do that 2 more times. So nodding the chin down towards the chest, rolling down the spine, trying to move each vertebrae by vertebrae. Nice and slow, and then getting to the bottom, you're just going to gently swing the arms side to side. Gradually just getting a little bit higher with each swing. And notice is there any points of your back that feel particularly stiff. As we know, our spine connects into our pelvis. So making sure we have a nice mobile spine is also essential for the hips. And then the last one, so nod the chin down, rolling down the spine. And then just slowly side to side. Rolling all the way up. Standing. And then we're going to use this, we're going to start to push into the back line of our body, so back into our hamstrings. So you're going to reach your hands above your head. So keeping your arms nice and straight, you're just going to lean over to one side and just sweep the arms in front of you, pushing the hips back as you do so. So from the side, you're just taking the arms to the side, push the hips back, stretch into the hamstrings, and then reach all the way up. And then going the other way, all the way around. Stretching into the hips, nice straight arms, so you're pushing the arms away. So stretching again into the spine as well. Start to think of the feet as planting feet, so think of your feet as triangles, so you've got 2 points in the ball of your foot, 1 point in the heel. Cement those feet in, you're not wanting to collapse through the arches. The feet play a huge role in the mobility and movement in our hips as well, which we'll get more into later. Just one more. And then coming to the back of your mat again, we're going to do a roll down again, but this time we're going to go out into plank position. So nodding the chin down towards the chest, all the way down, bend the knees if you need to get your hands down to the floor, walking the hands nice and slowly out to a plank position, holding here for a second and then pushing back onto your heels, so into a down dog, just pending the feet, so you're stretching the back line of your body into the hamstrings, into the backs of your legs. And then just rolling forward into plank position and then pressing back into the down dog again. So we're just moving between these movements and take as long as you want here, just stretching out those hamstrings, starting to warm them up. And rolling forward. And then one more, press back. And then from here, you're going to bring your right foot, stretch it up, open the hip, over to your left, and then you're going to bring your knee through your hands, so the knee lands between your two hands, taking that back leg nice and straight, and you're going to gently just fold forwards into our pigeon stretch, forward over that front knee. So you should feel a stretch now in this side, into this glute and down the side of this leg. Just holding here for a second. And then just gently walking the hands, stay in this position, walking the hands up towards the knee, and you're just going to gently press and trying to lift the hands off the floor if you can, so taking it out to the side, making it slightly more active now, pressing that back foot into the ground, and then placing the hands back down, tuck the back toes, and you're going to press back into downwards and take this leg high, reach it over and then plant it back next to your left foot. And this time we're going to do same but on the left side, so reaching the left foot high, cross it over the right, and then bringing that knee between your hands, tucking your back foot and stretching down on top of that left side. So you're trying to keep your hips square here, so we're stretching into the glute, but we don't want to collapse and twist into the spine. So the spine's nice and long, nice and straight, reaching forward. Couple more breaths here, and then you're going to slowly walk your hands towards your knee, stretching it up, and notice there's a difference between left and right, and then you're going to lift hands off the ground, holding that stretch. If you're feeling the pinching in your lower back here, going to just untuck and just staying slightly more forward, so you're only going as far back as you can, or the back allows. So obviously we're talking about the spine connecting into the pelvis. Good, and then from there, hands back down, tuck the back toes, taking that left foot up, crossing over the right again, return back, and then this time you're going to drop the knees down, and we're going to come forward into our 90-90. So you want your left shin parallel with the front of your mat, and take your right thigh parallel with the front of the mat, so you've got two 90-degree angles here. If this is too uncomfortable to sit, you can get a block or a few books or something to prop your left hip up, but we're just trying to keep the hips as square as we can and just folding over that front leg, and then just gently coming up. So we're testing the internal external rotators with these exercises we're about to do, so we're just trying to flex forward and keeping the back nice and straight as possible, and keeping the hips as square as possible. So one more like this. Okay, so that's what we call our passive flexibility, where we're using our hands as well, so you can lower. This time you're going to take, so it's more of an active one, taking your hands out to the side. You're just going to gently lean over that left knee, and then gently coming up. So this one's starting to build the strength as well as the flexibility here. If this feels like it's too much for you, just go as far as you can, or even just holding this position might be enough. And one more. And then we're going to reverse it, so you're going to do a straight swap over. So your right leg now is at the front of your mat, left thigh is parallel. And again, so we're going to start off with putting your hands onto your leg, just gently folding forward over the front of that leg, and then back up. Trying to keep your head forward, so you're looking over the top, nice straight back. So we're flexing from the hips and not wanting to round the spine. Will actually limit the movement if you're rounding your spine, so you're trying to get up and over your front knee. So one more like this. And then we're going to take the hands away, so hands out to the side, flexing forward, and then coming back up. And you might find that you're slightly stiffer on one side. This is definitely the more difficult side for me, so one I need to spend a little bit more time on. And often you can find the one with this exercise, the one that is your stronger side can often be the slightly tighter side, but a really good one, especially if you struggle with any lower leg flapping issues, or even feeling like you're unable to use that leg on one side. this exercise can really highlight that. Good, one more. Good, and then you're just going to plant your feet so where they are, a little bit wider than hip width now. Taking your arms up in front and just going to gently drop the knees down to one side, rolling over your feet and pressing into the other side. So you're trying to think of your thigh bones moving in your pelvis rather than rotating up and coming forward and moving the whole of your seat. So you're just focusing on, it doesn't matter if you don't get the knees to the floor, that's fine. You're just focusing on the rotation of the femur, of the thigh bone. Trying to encourage a little bit more movement here. Good. One more. Good, and then we're going to come to lying on your back. Quite a lot of my clients' favourite exercise this one, so you're going to cross your left ankle onto your right knee and you're trying to get our left foot down to the ground. So take the arm out to the side and you want to keep the shoulders on the floor while rotating in your lower back and into your hips. You might have a nice stretch down this outside and then just gently coming up. So try not to use the floor as a springboard and pressing up. You're trying to just hold gently and then think of the back, the core muscles gently pulling you back up. So keep it a nice smooth fluid movement. Making sure you keep those shoulders on the ground so you're getting that nice twist. And then one more, this side. And then straight swap over to the other side. It's exactly the same, but going over to the left this time. So right foot crossed over. And again, notice there's no difference between the two sides. There's one slightly tighter than the other. Making sure you keep that the shoulder firmly on the ground. Letting the hips move. Nice gentle swing. Use the core to pull it back, not using the floor as a springboard. Good, and then from there you're going to take that right leg up straight, keep the left foot planted, pointing your toes and just going to draw a nice big circle, and this time you want to watch that this left hip doesn't want to come off the ground. So nice and slow, just drawing a nice big circle, really working on the mobility of this hip. You might feel a few little crunches, little clicks. That's fine, it's often just where you've got the mobility but the stability in the joint isn't quite there, so the strength of the joint. So just doing this nice and slow encourages the movement, but also then we can notice if there's any clicks, any pains, rather than kind of rush through it and wobbling. Just take it nice and slow, really feel for the joint. And then you're going to reverse the circles, going back the other way. You can also, if the weight of the leg feels too much, keep the circles very small, or you can do it with a bent leg. So focusing on slightly smaller range, and then build up to the straight leg. I'm just going to do one more this way. And planting that right foot down, we're going to do the same on the left, so watch this right hip this time. So nice and square hips. Take the left out to the side. Round. Nice, bigger circles as you can control and it feels comfortable. And again, bending the knee if you need to. And then you're just going to reverse the circles, going back the other way. And then one more. And then just pull those knees in, gently roll side to side. And then for these next ones, you can either leave the head flat on the ground, which is easier, which is if you struggle with neck pain, then core exercises. Or if you joined me last week, you remember the head nod, so lifting the head off the floor and just gently, but what you don't want to do is hear the voice change. That means that we're straining, pulling too much on the neck. So you're doing the head nod, you're nodding the chin in towards the chest and lifting gently. And then for this one, we're just going to reach, pull one hamstring in straight and the other leg away, and then we're reaching, swap. So you can keep this knee bent if you want to, but that's a really nice hamstring stretch. Don't worry about how far you get. Right, so you've got really flexible hamstrings, you're trying to reach a little bit higher from the calf as well. And if you want, just leaving the head on the ground if it feels too much for your neck. And you're trying to focus here on not letting the lower back swing, so we're using our core control as well here. But really stretching into the hamstrings, into the back line, trying to keep the legs nice and straight. So holding for a second. And as you pull in, think of that leg pressing away, so making it a little bit more active here. So either staying up. Just going to do one more. You're going to bring the knees in, you're going to roll up to sitting. And we move into our pancake stretch. So for this one, you want to take your legs as wide as comfortable. You don't want to be pinching and pulling, especially in the lower knees. If that's a struggle for you to sit and you feel like you're having to round your back, prop yourself up with some blocks or sitting on some books so that we're not rounding into our spine, because that would be a lot harder for this exercise for rounding. So we want to think of bending from the pelvis and then up and over. So this is the pancake one. You're going to walk your hands just gently forward and think of flexing, so think of going up and over rather than trying to round and cram it in here. So trying to open the space, lift the pelvis. Walking the hands forward and you're just rocking side to side. And again for this one, a little bit of discomfort is fine. We want to try and get a little bit more movement here, but we don't want to feel any pinching, any pain. So just rocking gently side to side. And then you want it tight, so you're going to reach over to your right side and reach your top hand up and over. And then just gently go to the other side, reach up and over. So if I do it from the front, you're just going to go back to walking the hands all the way forward, just gently rolling side to side. So you're really stretching your adductors into the front of the hips. And then you're just reaching over to your right, stretch your top hand over, and then over to your left. And then one more time, so you're walking your hands all the way forward, rocking side to side. And then reaching over to your right. And then over to your left. Good, and then you're going to come forward, taking your legs, swing your legs back behind you, starting in plank position and dropping down to your knees if you need to, lowering all the way down to the mat. And then just gently pressing up, stretching into your spine. And if you can, if it feels comfortable, you're pressing into your hip flexors in the front of your hamstrings here by squeezing your glutes, lifting up the front of your pelvis. So lifting up your hip bones. And then you're going to come from here, tap your toes, move the hands a little bit closer to your knees, pressing back into your down dog. And you're going to take your right leg up once more, stretch it over the left. And then bring your foot this time between your knees. And you're just gently rocking backwards and forwards. Try and keep that knee tracking over your toes, so over your third toe. Then from here, you're staying forward onto that right foot, and you're going to lift your hands all the way up, holding your balance, and then you're just going to gently bend and straighten that back leg. So bend and straighten as you're really stretching into that hip flexor, building the strength in this front leg and into the ankle. Reach your arms up and away, you've got two more. And then hands back down, just a few gentle rocks again. Up and down. And then taking that right foot back to meet the left. Pedal the feet out, and then you're going to lift your left leg up, open over your right. And then bring the left up between your hands and just gently rocking backwards and forwards. And then when you're ready, you're going to lift up, arms nice and straight. And then you're just gently bending and straightening that back leg. This is a difficult one, but keep going if you need to. Just holding the posture. Just trying to gently bend and straighten that back leg. One more. Good, hands down, just doing a couple of these rocks. Backwards and forwards. And then taking that left leg up, opening up the hips. And you're going to bring your left leg again to the front of the mat, but this time you're going to twist into the side Cossack squat. So you're trying to get this foot more straight to the front of the side of your mat, sorry. Reach your hands forward and then just gently rocking side to side. If you need to, using your hands to press over to start off with. It doesn't matter if you're a little bit higher, so we're up here. We're trying to get into that Cossack squat. So it's real ankle mobility and these sides that we've just opened up. So just doing a couple more. Really stretching into the sides. Good, and then just putting the hands down. Reach the legs, so straighten the legs up, and you're just going to gently roll up your spine. And then just gently walk the feet together. We're going to move into some standing ones, so a bit of a balance one and a hip mobility one. So it's a standing hip circle. So planting your right foot, so again think of that tripod foot. So 2 points in the ball of your foot, 1 point in the heel. Lift your left leg up, bending the knee. You're taking it out to the side, kicking back and round. So you're trying to draw a bigger circle as you can with your knee, while keeping nice and stable on that right foot. So a good one to do while you're waiting for kettle to boil, before you get on, riding and then kicking leg back. A few of my clients even do it standing in supermarket queues. Get a few weird looks, but it's all worth it. It all adds. It's the little daily things that we can do that add up. Good. And then dropping it down, we're going to swap onto the right leg. So planting, think of the ball of the foot again. 2 points in the ball of the foot, 1 point in the heel. Really planting that foot. For any of you that suffer with ankles, hypermobility in the ankles, hypermobility in the ankles, or feel like your ankles could do a little bit more stability, this is a really good one. And doing it without shoes, really, really important, so the foot can actually feel the ground, rather than these soft spongy trainers that can often throw us off balance and cause more issues. But that's not a whole other topic. Good, reverse already if you haven't. Just doing a couple more. So, back, around. Good, and we're just going to do our lunge clocks, chair twists, and then you are done. So, for this one, same thing, planting foot, but this time you're going to have almost a half squat position. And you're just going to reach your left foot forward. So imagine a clock face around you, and you're just reaching randomly the points on the clock. We're trying to stay nice and stable, planted in that foot, and reach as far away as you can without changing the angle, so staying nice and low. A really good one for anyone who suffers particularly with losing your lower leg or feeling like you're shifting in the saddle. This is a really good one. Good. One more. And then swapping sides, so left foot planted, right foot reaching round on that imaginary clock face. Really planting through the tripod foot. So there's 2 points in the ball of your foot, 1 point in the heel. Staying nice and low on this side. One more. Good, and then the last exercise, so we're going to do the chair. So you're going to take your feet hip distance apart, reaching your hands forward and just sitting your seat back. Hold for a second and then come all the way up. So from the side and reaching, reach all the way forward and coming back. So imagine like you're sailing down onto a chair, reaching the arms up. And it doesn't matter again about the mobility, we're trying to get down to this position, but it's working within your range. So we're not wanting to shrug the shoulders forward. Bring the arms up, just means we're keeping the upper body up. It's a really good one for any of you jumpers and then to show jumpers. This is a really good one. Practice, and you can practice this as a hold as well. So holding this position, building the strength in the hamstrings, in the quads. Obviously as well as our wall sit. If you've got one more of these. Yeah, and then coming to the back of the mat, you can move into our cool down. So taking the knees nice and wide to the edge of the mat, sitting your bum back on your heels and walk the hands all the way forward. Really stretching, so we're trying to slow the breathing now. And these stretches are more about the cool down rather than trying to gain any flexibility here. So it's just about, they shouldn't be uncomfortable, these stretches. And then rocking forward, just tuck one arm underneath the other. Just gently controlling the breathing. And then swapping sides, so the right arm comes underneath the left, looking underneath your armpit. And then coming up, 2 or 4, so bring the knees underneath the hips, hands underneath the shoulders. You're just arching the back all the way up, so looking at your knees, sitting back onto your heels, keeping the arch. And then keep the arch again, rolling up, and then you're dropping down as you get up. Head towards the ceiling. Moving through your rolling cat-cow, so arching back up into your cat, sitting back onto your heels. And then gently rolling back up. Drop the belly down, shoulders come together, head comes up. And then nod the chin again, rolls, fine. Sitting back onto your heels. And then rolling back up, dropping the belly down, look up towards the ceiling. And then returning to neutral, you're just going to tuck your toes, pressing back to down dog again and just pedaling the feet. Nice slow deep breaths. And then you're going to bring your right foot outside of your right hand, drop your left knee, untuck the foot and you're just gently rocking backwards and forwards. And then lift your right hand up, so you're twisting towards your right knee. Looking towards your right fingertips. And then try to get that elbow down to the inside of your foot. Hands back together, knees back together, back to your down dog again, pedaling the feet out, and then bringing your left foot forward, dropping to your knees first if you need to, and then bring the left foot forward, and then just gently rocking, backs and forwards. And then staying forward, just lift your left hand, so twisting towards your left knee. Reach his left fingertips up. Imagine someone pulling you from your left fingertips. And then try to get that elbow down to the inside. And then hands back together, knees back together, back to your down dog, just pedal the feet. And then you're just slowly walking the feet towards the hands. And moving to that exercise that we started with, so just gently swinging the arms side to side. And notice, can you get any lower down than when you started? And then with each swing, just getting a little bit higher, making sure you keep the chin tucked in. Rolling all the way up. And then just shrug the shoulders. Roll the head as you get to the top. and hopefully you found that useful. If you've got any questions or if you did find it useful, just let me know. Drop me a message on Instagram or email.